Hello. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Just getting situated here. Wonderful. Welcome, Sheila. It's been a little while. Glad to have you. So we'll just give a few minutes to let everybody gather in and join. Hi, Andrea. Good afternoon to you as well. I'm excited to be here with you all this afternoon. I'm excited about our topic for today. And just to be in our Insight Timer community together. Always so grateful for this space and for Insight Timer, for all of the wonderful humans here. So thank you all for being a part of it. If you're here for the first time or many times, you're all welcome. So today our live stream topic is going to be about when everything looks fine and normal on the outside of your life, but yet on the inside you feel something isn't quite working. So I wonder if you all can relate to this. And as we open the space more, let's just take a mindful moment together and arrive here in this beautiful sacred space. Taking a couple breaths. And what we're going to be looking at tonight, or not tonight, today is just an inquiry. Being curious, being interested at, kind of zooming out on your life and seeing what might not be working for you. So if you are new to me, please, if you care to, give me a follow here in Insight Timer. You can give a donation if you'd like. You can also join my group here, Natalie's Healing Circle and Insight Timer, where I share announcements and updates. And I did just share my newest meditation track that I will go ahead and share in here as well. So there's two, and these are premium tracks. So they do not allow me to share like this the free tracks, but I do have a 12-hour free sleep track you can check out. And this track you see popped up on the screen is a premium track, Set Yourself Free from the Past. Forgive, love, and let go. So it's a beautiful, powerful 14-minute meditation. And just yesterday, this 8-hour sleep track is also live. If you like having something in the background as you sleep. So this is the same guidance as my other cozy sleep talk down meditation here in my premium tracks, but this one has 8 hours of music with it. So this is perfect for those who like to, start with guidance from me, and then move into just a quiet, peaceful music to sleep with. So you can check those out. I've also got a full schedule of live streams for this month, today being the second of the month, but yeah, so I will share the one that's coming up next, and if you follow me, you'll be notified of all of those. So on the 8th of February, we will be talking about why you can understand yourself and still feel stuck. So how many of you can relate to that besides me? And these topics are quite common, I see, in my life coaching clients, as well as just in spiritual communities and personal development and self-help and spiritual growth. So RSVP to that if you would like. That will be this Sunday morning. So as I have said recently this month, I'm going to be doing my weekly card reading during the week on every other week, and on the Sunday morning every other Sunday. So join in for all of that. So we'll go ahead and dive in deeper today. So if you care to give an emoji in the chat, a word in the chat of just what energy is alive in you right now, please do that if you want to get your voice into the room. And as I said, we're going to be transitioning into the topic of when your life looks fine, but it's not working, or something about it isn't working. So I've recently started work with a couple new clients in the past month who have this theme going on, so that made me think about this for a topic, because as I said, so many in the spiritual community have so many things working about their life, but then there can be this disconnect of what's actually not working, and there can be almost a spiritual bypassing that happens of looking at, look at all these things that are working. I shouldn't complain, or I shouldn't be upset, or I shouldn't focus on the negative, any kind of shoulding that might happen. So if you can relate to that, give a heart, give a emoji, give a comment. If your life looks stable, if your life looks acceptable, if your life looks fine. So as many of you know, I'm in 12-step, and in the 12-step community, and there's a saying that if somebody's like, I'm fine, like FINE is an acronym that can stand for effed up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. So if anyone can relate to that, I'll write that in the chat. Effed up, insecure, neurotic, emotional, and forgive my typos. So if anybody's fine here, it's totally okay. You're welcome. Come as you are. And to me, that's really the spiritual path, is not trying to hurry up and get somewhere else, but acknowledging and validating where you are. So if you are feeling any of those fine ways, it's totally okay. I was just on a call with a client earlier, and we talked about the second arrow. And the second arrow being the judgment after the thing. Whatever the situation is, whatever the stories are, then it's like and then what's wrong with me? So like the idea of my life's working, everything's great on the outside, why am I miserable? And then, oh no, I shouldn't feel miserable because everything's good on the outside. So we want to look at the disconnect between your outer life and your inner life. And it kind of reminds me of the thought a lot of people I work with have of like, well, I shouldn't complain because, you know, some people have it worse, people in other countries or people with this and that, they have it worse, so I shouldn't complain and I should be happy with what I have. And I always challenge that because that line of thinking never works. It never helps. All it does is shame the person. It's like it's not okay that I'm unsatisfied. It's not okay that I feel this way. And there is a huge potential for growth and transformation in first accepting it's okay how I feel. So if you are in that camp of thinking, I shouldn't be upset, I should be happy with my life, even though on the inside I feel dull, I feel irritable, I feel resigned, I feel bored, I feel hopeless. If you feel any of those ways, you feel, quote, fine. Like, first, let's not make yourself wrong for that. And for me in my own personal journey and the clients that I work with, that's a huge place for growth and expansion. Before jumping into, well, let's fix this, let's analyze, let's look at, you know, your life, etc. It's like, well, first, let's just slow down and validate how you feel. And it's okay and it makes sense. And so if you do have this dynamic of everything is, quote, fine, but yet on the inside something feels off or not satisfied or like it's not working, what does that cost you? What is the impact of that for you on your life? Maybe you feel a constant tension in your body. Or maybe your mind is arguing with reality everywhere all the time. Or maybe you notice a sense of trying to force happiness. I know I woke up like that this morning. I woke up and I had this heaviness. You know, I can attribute it to different things, but the fact was it was there. And I had this exact thing happen of like, okay, appreciation time, gotta be grateful, gotta get up, do my meditation, shift my energy. But underneath that was a feeling like subconsciously pretty much of I shouldn't feel like this, I shouldn't wake up like this, it's not right, you know, I should be past this, I'm doing something wrong. So we want to really slow down around that. So give a heart, give an emoji or a comment of what's landing for you so far in this and what the costs are for you. As I said, there might be this tension, like a low-level tension in your body. Let's take a breath and just notice. You might feel drained constantly. You might be procrastinating, maybe engaging in unhealthy habits. Maybe you keep breaking your word to yourself. Maybe you say, I'm going to change. I'm actually going to do the thing, whatever that thing is for you, that will change my life or will make me happy. But then you put it off, you break your word to yourself, and that's a form of self-betrayal. So these layers that we're working in here are subtle layers that live in the unconscious and subconscious realms. And so this is the deep work I do with people in my life coaching is, really slowing down together. Really noticing what the body's feeling in the moment, noticing what the thoughts are, the stories, and bringing a loving presence and awareness and attention, and shining a light on where there might be blind spots. People come to me when they're ready to do something different, to take a different action, when they want to up level or heal this disconnect between everything looks good out here, but it doesn't feel good on the inside. So we want to merge that. And get back into alignment of basically living in integrity. And integrity means when your insides match your outsides. So answer this in the chat. Where do you feel your life is, quote, working on the outside, but it doesn't feel expansive or light on the inside? Because the thing that occurs, and I see this happen over and over in the people I work with, is there's this trap of thinking, oh, this next thing, when this happens, when this changes, then I'll feel okay, then I'll feel better. But the trap is when that occurs, then there's something else. So it's about something deeper than that. So take a breath here with me together. And just notice what's showing up for you. And if you are just joining in, say hello, say where you're from if you'd like. If you're new, if you're returning, thank you for being here. You're all welcome. And the next question I want you to either write your answer in the comments, reflect on, is what are you tolerating? What are you tolerating in your life? What do you keep explaining away? Are you explaining away something? Like, oh, well, I have to do this because of this, so it's okay. But any sort of idea or language like that is settling and tolerating. So feel free to share what's coming up for you, or write it out in a reflection, either in your phone or in your journal, on paper. So if things are looking fine in your life, but not feeling fine, that usually equals being in a place of your comfort zone, but where there's some tension, where things are acceptable, things are familiar and manageable, but you're not feeling fulfilled on a deeper level. How many of you can relate to that? I know I can. It's a human thing. There's nothing wrong. It is what it is. And we just want to do a gentle inquiry and shine a light onto all of this. So what is it that keeps people staying in that place of everything looks like it's working on the outside, although it doesn't feel in alignment on the inside? So of course, fear of change, fear of the unknown, maybe fear of like destabilization of, if I do this or change this, what will happen? Or maybe it might be staying because you've stayed so long. I know I did that with my last corporate job before I retired. I stayed because I stayed because I stayed. It was familiar and comfortable, although I was completely miserable. Who all can relate to that? And then too, it's like, well, if I make this change, what's going to happen? It's the unknown. And one of my favorite teachers, Joe Dispenza, talks about this distinction of being in fear of the unknown, which comes from being in survival, and being in survival in the chemicals in your brain and body, and having different parts of the brain activated, like your limbic system, which is the survival mind, versus the prefrontal cortex, which is the newest, most evolved part of the brain. So when we're in survival, we're afraid of the unknown. But when we switch into possibility, trust, presence, peace, then we get into creation. And then it's like, ooh, I'm trusting the unknown. I'm excited about the unknown. So some of you here today likely are in the being afraid of what would happen if you changed or made a change, versus being excited about it. So who all can relate to any of these dynamics? And this is not, again, it's not about making anybody wrong or bad or judging and not enough. It's like, oh, isn't this interesting? Information can bring transformation. But you must actually take like the information and put it into real world practice. So type in the chat, what is one area that you are ready to look at, that you're ready to stop pretending is fine? And again, if you feel like using emojis to communicate, you can do that as well. And you don't have to take any action yet. You can just notice and be an observing, like, okay. And you will be surprised at just how powerful just acknowledging what is ready to be changed will do for you. So I do want to make an offer to any of you who have never had a session with me before, that I'm offering a process where we will actually look at this, look at what is working on, on the outside of your life, and looking at what's not working, And then looking at that disconnect of what's in the way, what is out of alignment here, what is out of integrity. And one small step you can take to move more into inner and outer alignment. And this is very powerful. So I offer this as a gift for anyone who's never received a gifted session with me before. So please feel free to send me a private message here in Insight Timer or anywhere that I am, and please follow me on all platforms and places, and you can find all of that in my profile. So I want you to follow your intuition, follow your heart's call on that. So I want to draw a card and just see what Spirit has to say about some guidance for everybody that's here around this topic. And so I'm going to use Sacred Rebels and just see what Spirit has to say. So don't forget to follow me here on Insight Timer, give a donation if this is helpful for you. Again, check me out, follow me, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that wonderful places to connect. Okay, so we have restore and replenish. So you have been feeling, just because you've been out of alignment and because you've been kind of having the thought like, my life looks okay on the outside, but it doesn't feel that way on the inside, and there's this judgment and there's this tension. It's bleeding your energy. So it's time for you to restore and replenish yourself. So this is a card of self-care. This is a card of being really tender and gentle with yourself, using your loving kindness, practices, metta, meditation. So I'm going to share the meditation I just created. You can see it pop up on the screen. Set yourself free from the past, forgive, love, and let go. So for some of you, this is what you need to do, is a practice like that in order to restore yourself and replenish yourself. And then you can look at, okay, what do I need to do to get into alignment? What actions do I need to take? So let's just close our session today with just a few minutes of sacred space that we hold together right now. Let's take a few conscious breaths in and out together. You can close your eyes if you would like. And just notice your body, notice how your body feels. Notice any areas of stress or tension. And just breathe in this energy of restoration, of replenishment. And breathing out any energy of fear, of tightness, of contraction, of constriction, of holding on. And just feel how just taking a couple conscious breaths, coming into presence just for a moment, how that can bring that disconnect feeling together and integrate. If you yawn, that's wonderful. That means that your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system our balancing, coming into alignment. And I'm so grateful for you all. Grateful for Insight Timer, for this wonderful community and space that we have. If you haven't, please give me a follow. If you care to, please give a donation. And again, if you want to dive deeper into all of this, there's something really deep here that has potential for profound transformation for you. So please feel free to reach out. As I said, for those who haven't had a session with me, I offer a gifted process that I will take you through, where we will dive into this idea of, wow, look at the things that are working in my life on the outside, but yet something doesn't feel like it's working on the inside. And we can help shift and bring you back into alignment. Hi, J.E. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. So follow your heart's call. Send me a message here or anywhere that you can find and connect with me. We will be live on in 4 days, which is, Sunday morning. And I will share the link to that live stream. And we're going to be talking about why you can understand yourself and yet still feel stuck. So diving into this idea of, the spiritual path, the journey of transformation and growth and change, and then what can happen, these very common patterns, especially in spiritual communities, of still feeling stuck, and then the sabotage that happens, and then the judgments and the beliefs about it. So please join me for that. Bring your friends, RSVP. I so appreciate all of your wonderful support. And I will see you all soon. So much love and namaste. Thank you.